morning, and welcome to Attorney Commander J.R. Glapohkpa Chesson talk show. On this beautiful, beautiful Monday morning, November the 27th, 2023, the peace in Israel holds as hostages are exchanged. We pray that during this period, governments will come together and strive to ensure that this peace holds continuously. We have enough fighting in the world today, in Ukraine, in Israel, with all the sufferings in the world. We don't need any more wars, man. These old men leading the world today got to come together and put their head together and end this war. Or we need more sensible people to take over the world. The leadership of the world has failed. Let's take a few seconds to mourn the dead of these wars. May their souls rest in perfect peace. Now let's go to my country, Liberia. As we begin to move forward into a new era that we hope will bring significant changes to our country, we cannot fully move forward without evaluating our past leadership. And throughout my lifetime, there have been only 3 leaders of Liberia. Throughout my lifetime, till today, there have been only 3 leaders of Liberia. William V.S. Tubman, William R. Talbot, and Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. These are the 3 leaders. And after I get through with Mr. Samuel Wilker, my correspondent in Liberia, we'll go through my exercise of evaluating these 3 leadership in my view. Because we got to set our country right. We got to set the situation in our country correct. Everybody want to move forward. How will we move forward when our country have a lot of baggages? We have a lot of baggages that we got to open up and clear up before we can move forward. The weight on Liberia's back is too much. The weight of deceitfulness, lies, treachery, stealing, corruption, evil is too much for us to handle. We must drop some of the baggages or open them. Let me bring on my correspondent in Liberia, Mr. Samuel Wilker, so we can deal with the situation in our country today. What's up, Sam?
Hey, good morning, Rod. Good morning.
What's happening, brother?
Well, on Wednesday, expert witness took a stand in the murder case against Gloria Scott and others. And the experts said that it was possible for intruder to enter the fence, contrary to police investigation and report, that the fence was so high.
Where were these experts from?
One from Nigeria and the other from Liberia.
The police people?
Ex-police and top security officers, retired police and security officers.
Okay, so we just
you know, they at the background. Contrary to police investigation that the fence was so high up to 9 feet that the intruder could not just easily enter. And based on that, they charged the Scott family, for murder. And then in Nima County, the 8th Judicial Circuit Court is said to be a death trap. And, it's going bad in ruin, and the government is not paying attention.
Can't
That's
wake
a
up.
bad news for that part of Liberia. Yeah, Well, an international institute, the Institute for Research and Democratic Development, says that President-elect Joseph Yuma Boakai must audit the George Weah administration because a lot of reports of corruption, during his tenure. So to set a good pace for Liberia, he should audit, make sure that we as the administration is audited.
Okay.
And a good news from Europe, a Liberian boxer named Freddie Kidwit. He wins the world welterweight title in Germany. And the very first time for a Liberian to reach that far.
Mhm.
That's a great news for Liberia.
Now I think weatherweight is between 120 pounds to 150 or 140 something. So that's weatherweight. In the boxing world, they judge the competition according to weight. I think heavyweight is like 240 or 200 or upward, and weatherweight is like 120 to 150. We're in there. And I don't know all. I'm not a boxer, but I researched weatherweight, so we have some idea of what the belt was about. So it's all deals with the weight of the boxers that determine their classification. So welterweight is between 120 and 140. All the boxers within that range fall within that category. Because people got to box according to weight. You don't want a 120-pound guy boxing a 250-pound guy. That's a killer. So they do everything according to weight. Congratulations to Mr. Freddie Kiewit.
Yeah.
Okay, we didn't have the opportunity to have a picture of him. I got the news late. But anyway, more power to you, brother. Keep those fists up. And okay, let's get on, Sam.
He can make it to the heavyweight.
Before I get into my boxing move, yeah. But I mix it, You do a little boxing, you do a little kung fu, you do a little rock throwing, you do a little head butting. That's fighting, brother. I'm not a professional. I just fight. Okay, let's move on. What's up?
Well, the political party of Jeremiah Kuhn, the MRD, a movement for reconstruction and development, have recommended that the new incoming government must set up a special court to investigate the missing deaths, the too many people that died during the Weah regime, and the missing money. Yeah, the mysterious death.
The missing money.
Yeah, the missing money,
Yes, they have
That's
to.
a good news. Yeah, you have to be, once you auditing, you got to sell these things, to ensure that accountability.
Well, not only that, Sam. They're right. Too many people died in our country. Too many people lost their lives innocently, and those people were patriots. They were not just ordinary people in the street. These were people serving our country in strategic positions. You can't kill 4 auditors and get away with it. How you kill 4 auditors in our country? What are we, a banana republic? That demonstrates we have absolutely no law. How can somebody just come and kill 4 auditors? Not 1, not 4. And from permanent families too. You think all of us hurting? I'm close to Yansua people. I know the Yansua families. I'm close to them. You think I piss off too? Eh? When Yansua used to come to America, we all used to sit down together. We all sat down together in their backyard. Just last Christmas, the last time he was here, we were all sitting down together eating. You think we pissed off about that? We all pissed off. You can't just be killing people like that. Huh? Why you think I'm worried about you? Because we have lawless people. And that cannot continue. And you see, this is why, Sam, I'm talking about rectifying the mistakes and setting our history correct. The lies, the deception, the criminal aspect of our society is just overwhelming. It's overwhelming. And they got to stop. Enough is enough. How can we move forward with all the criminal aspects? We got baggages. We got baggages. And we cannot move forward until we get rid of some of these baggages. How do we get rid of them? Clarifying the truth. You know, since Liberia we founded, Sam, we have had 3 leaders. We have had 3 leaders. Of all the leaders, we have had 3 leaders: Tubman, Talbot, and Ellen. All the other leaders have been temporary. They have been temporary. Even Charles Taylor was temporary. Charles Taylor was an extension of Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Charles fought the war for Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. He was just temporary. He and Bernard Ayew, they were a different set of grown-up boys. They were the Congo grown-up boys. They just came there to steal. Charles Taylor wasn't no president. He was a grown-up boy. But they were Congo grown-up boys. Joe Weir and they're the native grown-up boys. Can you see grown-up boys? You know, people just kind of steal for our country, put our country in war. That Ellen Johnson Sirleaf grown-up boys. That was Charles Taylor then. But it's just that when Charlie then took over, my boys, they're not stupid. You think Charlie they're stupid? You think the guy was going to take that power and give it to Ellen? I told you they weren't going to do it. I know my boys. They're my cousins. Them. I know them. None of us going to give power to Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. You crazy? Only the country boys to do that thing, take power and give it to the light-skinned woman because they think she white woman. That's why Ellen Johnson Sirleaf became president of Liberia. The native boys thought Ellen Johnson Sirleaf was a white woman and they will be their queen. You think Congo made fool to get Ellen Johnson power? Sam, I told the people, I said, as long as Charles Taylor fighting in the bush, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf will not be president of Liberia. How Charles Taylor then will take war, fight the war and do everything, then they will take war power and give it to an evil woman like Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Huh? She's just as corrupt as Charles Taylor and Bernard Ayew. Oh, they're all corrupt. You think they would take that government and give it to Ellen? You think the guys should be? Because all they see when look at Bernard Ayew and Ellen today. Look at it. They still fussing on themselves, but they still body because they still come from the same era. Ellen come from Caribsburg too. All of us from Caribsburg. That's why she don't like me because they know I don't Batman. I ain't gonna fool with them. I ain't in the clique. I never been with them. I'm outside. I'm outside child. I'm outside government. I'm outside family. I'm outside corruption. I'm outside evil. I'm outside everything. That's why they're scared of me. They don't want me in the mix because I will expose them. I got no loyalty to them. I got no loyalty to Tubman. I got no loyalty to Top. What kind of loyalty I got to those corrupt people? I got no loyalty to them. Huh? Sam, I wasn't raised in my father's house to be loyal to Tubman. I was raised out. That was God. You think I am who I am today because of me? No, that's God. God took me out of these people's life. Why? Somebody got to change Liberia, Sam. Somebody got to speak the truth to all these things that go on, man. To all this evil in our country. We only have 3 leaders All the other leaders are bullshit leaders. Only 3 leaders we have had. And we got to evaluate them. Because we live under Tottenham's shadow even to today. Because Tottenham failed us. Tottenham failed us, Sam. Tottenham changed our laws to stay in power for 27 years. How you do that? He violated our constitution. He's a damn criminal. That's why God took my grandfather. Because my grandfather would have been part of this shit too. And I would have to jail him. And I would not hesitate to do it. You can't make a promise to Jesus to do the right thing. You come and violate the laws that he blessed us with to keep yourself in power. You can't do that. That's selfishness. That is in greed we're talking about. You might as well come and just steal our money. How you achieve our constitution to stay in power for 27 years? Yes, it is good for you individually as a man. Yeah, but it's not good for our country. Everything that happened in Liberia today is because Tottenham violated our constitution. All our problems today is because Tottenham violated our laws. When you violate the laws, Sam, you got to violate laws to keep yourself in power.
Mhm.
How you think Tottenham stayed for 27 years? No president before Tottenham ever stayed more than 2 terms. Everybody came, did their 2 terms and left. But Tottenham came with his boys and decided that their dream was to violate the constitution and entrench themselves in power for life, which Tottenham did. And Toba was about to do the same thing, but the time was not allowable. The people were too wise. The country had changed. Toba wasn't Tottenham. He didn't have the charisma. He didn't have that charm that Tottenham had. So he couldn't stay in power. He knew it. That's why he wanted to exit. But he was a fruit of the criminal act. He had to die. So did my father, and every one of those people that died, they had to die. And still more people got to die. Because when you start shedding blood to cleanse the land, it can't stop. It can't stop. Look at Sierra Leone. What happened there this weekend? They tried to overthrow the government too.
Yeah.
It can't stop because the government is corrupt. Until and unless third world leadership find out how to expand our governance and do it better, our countries will not survive. Sierra Leone got to join Liberia. Sierra Leone and Liberia got the same history. We got the same people. It's just that you see the Sierra Leoneans, they are our traitors. That one we never dealt with Sierra Leone too much because they are people who betrayed us in America. They are our brothers and sisters who betrayed us in America. They fought for the British instead of the Americans. That's the only thing that differentiates Sierra Leone from Liberia because of our old animosities. But that doesn't matter in Africa today. Our people kept that bitterness because some of them really fought the Revolutionary War in America. And the Sierra Leonean people, the blacks in Sierra Leone, fought for the British. We fought for free America. But that is in the past. Now we got to realize we're one people. And for both countries to survive, we need both governance to come together, both governances to come together. Why? Because it promotes diversity. The people in Liberia think one family own Liberia because we've been existing among ourselves for too long. When we join with Sierra Leone, there will be a necessity for us to enforce the law right. We don't want to fight war with the Sierra Leoneans or civil war. But us in Liberia, we entrenched in corruption. We are entrenched in corruption because Totman told us that for 27 years. And Talbot didn't change that too much. He tried, but he didn't. Then Ellen came and made it worse. Everything Ellen condemned on her Talbot, she did. She condemned stealing. She condemned nepotism. She condemned favoritism. She condemned friendship. She did everything. She put all her family in power. I told you, even my little niece, who even finished with college, she put her mayor, what is his name? Mayor of a whole city and gave her $15,000 a month. Come on, man. These are the things that kill us. You know, and sometimes my wife will say, oh, you're talking about your family, but my family ruled the country, Sam. Ellen Jose is my cousin. Charles Taylor was my cousin. Tutman was my cousin. Everybody, all these people, my cousin and my family ruling the country. And they're corrupt. Even some of the people in Georgia, we are government, are related to me. Our family ties in Liberia are great. And that's why it is best for us to enforce our constitution, for us to have justice and freedom in Liberia. Because we can't have certain family violating the law and other families condoning it because that they're relatives. No, we can't do that. Everybody has a responsibility to follow the law and obey the law so that our country can thrive, so there can be freedom and justice for all. Yes, we are related. You can't deny it, Sam. Look at our family. There's 16 tribes with intermarriage. We can say all kind of things we won't say about Congo and country. We're the same people. We're the same people. Our people have been existing for almost 200 years. We have intermarried with each other. We got children with each other. So we can talk the Congo and country thing all we want, but when it comes to the nitty-gritty, relatives on every side. We got relatives on every side. And because of that, it behooves us to ensure that our laws are followed. That our laws are paramount to everything in our country. Sam, there is equity in the law. The police officers and things, they are human beings. Even in America here, when law enforcement and people go out, we are mindful of the fact that we are dealing with human beings. You can't come there with gun-ho and our police officer. No. You are there to serve and protect. And we got to reinforce that all the time. When the officers are going out, we will reinforce them. Hey, you're not going there to beat people. You are going there to serve and protect. We reinforce that all the time. Because that is our duty. To serve and protect, not to go and knock people's heads down. We do that if it's necessary. But not our primary duty when we're in the public is to serve and protect, to be kind, to be courteous, to assist people. That's our job. Just as it is to protect, it is to serve, to be kind, to be courteous. And don't think we don't reinforce that to the officers. They do, Sam. Every time the officer leaving the prison, the sergeant will tell them, hey, guys, you're not going out there to be gung-ho. You're going out there to follow the law. You're going out to do this and do that. Because we have responsibility to our community. And you see, Sam, one of the things, let me tell you something. People in Liberia feel that because our country existed, because Tubman did so and so, it was right. It wasn't right. It wasn't right. And people would say, oh, Rodney, your pa, enjoy. No, it wasn't right. Tubman was a great political leader. He was a great political leader. If our system was a dictatorship, Tubman is the man. Tubman is the king. Tubman is the dictator. But that's not what our country was about. During that time, it was a necessity to have a man like Tubman. Perhaps it was a blessing from God. I'm not here to challenge all of that. It happened. God did it. It's over. But if we're going to move from here to there, we have to look at it and evaluate it and determine whether it was good or bad. We can't change it. Whatever happened in our past happened. Whether it was a blessing, whether it was a curse, whether it was whatever, it happened. And we lived through it. But that does not mean we cannot evaluate it and set what is right for future leadership of our country. We got to do that. Tubman did what he had to do to survive. And at that age and state of our existence, perhaps it was good for Liberia. Perhaps it was the better leadership for Liberia. Perhaps without it, we would not have had the country we have today. No doubt about it. Tubman united Liberia. His leadership united us. He set a culture for us. He did everything for us. But one thing he didn't do that is causing us to suffer today, he didn't build leaders to take over from him because he didn't want no leaders. You see why when you violate the law, what he does? He crushed every other leadership in the country because he didn't want nobody opposing him. So everybody was scared to talk, to exhibit leadership, except you were working with Tubman. We had no diversity in our country. Everybody who talked against Tubman was killed or ostracized or ran away from the country or punished. So in the end, we are still suffering from Tubman government. Why? We don't have leaders. Tubman did not build leaders. He crushed leaders. When Toba got there, Toba was confused. Toba was confused because Toba had his ideas, but his family, they had different ideas. And sometimes you got to follow the people you trust. So he was torn between his family and between good governance of Liberia. And that's where his destruction came. Because you got to decide, our country is not a family leadership government. So when you want to make our government a family government, then you move into toward dictatorship. You move into towards having a few people in secret decide the fate of our nation. And you always fail. Because our country is not an oligarchy. It's not where few people come together and decide the fate of our nation. Our country is a democracy. So if you go into your family and have meeting, you will have conflict with the real society of Liberia, where we have laws ruling our country. And that was Toba and Tubman, all these people felt in conflict with our laws, man. That today now we have no good leaders. Ellen Johnson said, Sam, look at our country, man. The people go in law, they make law, the president sign everything, it come into law, then they come back the next day, they say they won't go over the same law the president finished passing. Something wrong with that. That's the same thing we used to do in Rhode Island here. because we had no good leadership. That's why I left them. I had to leave them. Because you can't want to build a community, then you want to steal the assets of the community at the same time. You know, people building community to steal from the community. It can't work. It's us building our country to steal from it. If all of us just build Liberia for the sake of stealing, we have no country, Sam. And that's where we are. We have no country. Because everybody come, they build up enough for them to take their share. And that's what Ellen Johnson Sally brought to us. So they can steal all they want to steal, Sam. Our history will judge her and her family. You see? And it doesn't matter. Because years from now, when children sit down in class with my Ellen Johnson Sally name come, they say, oh, yes, she was for the first female president, but the way she got there was not right. She sold Liberia. She sold out Liberia for that position. She sold out Liberia. Then when she got the position, she found out that women Liberia not ready to be led by a woman. And the only reason Ellen Johnson Sirleaf has a hoax on Liberia is because of her American friends. Greenfield and all these people that are supporting her in the American government. That's why she's so powerful. But all of them coming to go. They will not stay. Joe Biden come and go. All of them come and go. New leadership coming in. And it will be some of us patriots' time to rise.
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody don't support what's going on. Everybody don't. You know, it's good that Ellen Johnson Sally is the first female president of Africa. It's good and all that. But what she brought to us was bad. For the world accolade and all these blessings of the world, she sold us out. She sold us out. Ellen Johnson Sally didn't know how to lead Liberia. How you take all our money and pay people? Saying they're not good leadership. How you take the small money we got and pay people? What is so wrong with Liberia that you got to pay people $15,000 to come home to fix? Then after that, you turn it over to the worst dummies ever. Does that make any sense? That just show what Ellen Johnson said he did was a waste. And you bring people from Europe, America, all over the world. You take our money and give it to them to fix the country. Then right after they leave, you take the country and give it to the worst people in the country to rule and tell us that they are our future. Sam, what's wrong with our women? What's wrong with Liberian women? Something wrong with us. They got too much independence and freedom. You know, they're confused. They power business. You see, that's why I don't like my sister got stuck in a group called Women and Security and Women War Room and all that kind of thing. What Liberian need with Women War Room for? Understand? What did they do in Liberian politics so much that changed the trajectory of our landscape? What did they do? What did the Women's Security War Room do? You heard about them?
Observation and monitoring election. That's all I'm sure they're doing. Yeah, I heard about that.
What kind of monitoring election, man? Come on, man. We don't want our women in politics like that, man. You know? Why you got to form a women group with politics? And poor women too, you know? That would make me mad, sir. You're not empowering the women. You're not empowering yourself because all the money going to my sister. Them, she controlling all the money. She paying everybody else. The money not going to the people directly. So we're gonna empowering together, man. Give me a break, man. You see, Sam, this kind of little babaditi I don't like, man. What you empowering our women for? Only one way to empower our women, man. Teach them. Let them make their own money. What you putting our women in politics for? Huh? When our women make money, they will know their interests. Sam, you can't force people into things that they don't understand. You know what? Our women do not understand politics. Why are you forcing them into there and talking about, yes, they understand peace. They don't want war. But they want to survive. They don't want to come down just during election time. They come from war room and sit down with all the aprons on them, say they're fighting. Then after that, people forget about them. Nobody see it but them.
Some good money from a donor, Liberian people are good at eating money.
That's why I'm telling you.
Some kind of donor now, yeah.
They were right to all the election coming. We want to set a war room for women politics. And after that, they finish with the women. Sam, you can't force people into politics. People got to understand the interest that they have that's being impacted by politics that will cause them to get involved. Now, let me tell you something. If all these women that my sister were controlling were in a home economic school, learning how to bake, cook, and do their business, and they were selling it, and they see the prices of food dropping, or the prices of the ingredients going up, flour, sugar, going up. Every day they go to the market. One day it's $5, the next day they go, it's $6, $7. Do you think they will get concerned? Don't you think they will get concerned? They will get concerned because it's impacting their livelihood. That's where politics start. You can't force people into politics. Their interests has to be in fact impacted for them to get up and deal with politics. The corruption in our country, governments impacting them, but they don't know until they are involved in the market. The market women know. You see the market women, they know politics more than the war room women my sister got. Why? Because they're selling. They got to buy bitter ball. They got to buy pepper. They got to buy onion. And they know when the prices of those things are increasing. Because when the prices are increasing, their prices on the market got to change. So if they're selling one pound of pepper for 5 cents and the price of a bag of pepper going up, they can't sell it 5 cents no more, right?
No.
They got to sell it 10 cents. So they're feeling the politics. They're feeling it because their livelihood changing. Now instead of paying $6 for a bag of pepper, they're paying $8. And they're feeling it because they got to sell it to the people in the street for 10 cents instead of 5 cents. And the people in the street will be complaining, no, the thing going up. Why you're cheating? That's politics. You see how politics runs, Sam? You can't force people into politics when they don't know their interests. You got to know your interests to be politically inclined. Now, if all these women were into baking and cooking and they had to go buy their supplies, when the inflation comes, you got to tell them there's inflation. They will know. They will know. And the higher, the worse the inflation gets, the more their political interests will grow because it's impacting their market, impacting their daily bread, impacting their customers. That's politics. But you can't just grab people together and say, "You're come in the room. Let me teach you how to do politics, and we'll fight this." Say it will not work, except you giving them money. If you paying them, if you getting, but to just have people doing that thing for nothing, and you got it grant, it can't work. The people got to feel the pinch to know their interests. The same thing with this gay right I was talking about the other day. People forcing us to put gay right law in our laws. Are they gays in Liberia? Huh? You see
They are
anybody,
gay.
but you see them demonstrators say they want law.
No, they are not. Yeah, they are not public. That's all.
They're not demonstrating. So how will foreigners come and tell we want to make law when people in our country don't want no law? If we have people fighting for gay right law, oh, we want law, we want law, we want to get married tomorrow. The government killing us. And we say, no, we can't get married. You can't get married. Then foreigners can kind of tell us, well, before we get your food, you got to lessen your gay right laws. But Sammy, our whole country, we got nobody demonstrating. We got nobody being brutalized because they're gay or complaining every day that the police chasing them. We got no laws in our country. Why foreigners want us to put gay right law in our laws? That's not how it works. That's not how it works. You see how they treat us like animals? The only animals you do those things to? Why you want to impose some immoral law on us when nobody in our country fighting for the law? We don't just make laws that are we damn idiots or baboons? But that would demonstrate we are baboons. When foreigners tell us we must have laws that we have nobody advocating for. And that's the problem. So it's only truthful for us, Sam. We got to set our country right. We got to set our country straight. All the lies, all the wrongs got to be brought to light. Yes, Tubman was a good man, but politically, maybe whatever he did was good, but it wasn't good constitutionally. It wasn't good morally. It wasn't good physically for our country. Look at what Tubman did. We are suffering from Tubman because Tubman wanted to stay in power for life. He crushed every leader, opposition leader, who came out to speak against him. Now everybody kept quiet. Today we have no leaders. We have no leaders to tell us the truth. Look at Ellen Johnson King destroy our government, brought her children, put them in our strategic government position, and not one Liberian today is talking about it, except me. That's why she didn't want me in her government. Because I would be the only one speaking and saying, no, it wasn't right that Ellen Johnson said they put her children in government. And that nobody talking about it, Sam. It gotta be juju, man. It gotta be some kind of spell. We killed 13 people because of nepotism, because of favoritism. Then this woman come and put her 3 children in our strategic government money positions, and our country says nothing. Sam, isn't there something wrong? The woman didn't put her cousin. She didn't put her nephew. She put her children blatantly in our oil company, money company, in our national bank, at our national security. She covered our money with her children and our national security so we couldn't talk. And not one of the native people in Liberia talked. Not one of the country people in Liberia saw anything wrong with it. They all kept quiet. Now they talk about justice. They talk about they want form court to do material debt and corruption. The corruption were over our country under Ellie Johnson Sally, and not one native person opened their mouth. Not one indigenous Liberian person said one thing to Ellen Johnson Sally. Why? Is that witchcraft? Is that juju? It's not natural. So your pray tell me, how would the Liberian people kill 13 Liberians for nepotism and corruption? And the very woman who brought these people down, who was instrumental in advocating against Tubman and Tubman and against their ways of nepotism, brought her very own children and put them in our government position. And not one Liberian said thing. Not one native Liberian said thing. What we say about native people today? They're deceitful. All the 16 tribes in Liberia got nothing but deceitful men and women. They sat down in Liberia and let Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, who fought against Torba, caused us to kill Torba because of nepotism, put her 3 children in power, and no Liberian say a thing. Are Liberian people afraid of Ellen Johnson Sirleaf that much? Or is it juju? It gotta be something, man. That today Liberian people are not talking about what Ellen Johnson Sirleaf did to us. The very, very thing that woman killed Torba for is the very thing she did to our country. And not one of these native fools talking. These are the things we got to correct. Because in the future, I want my children to ask my native Liberian people, how you killed 13 Liberians and this woman brought all her children and put her in the government. And not one of you had the balls. Not one of you were man enough to stand up and question her. Who are these native men of Liberia? Who are they, Sam? I want to know. I want to know. Who are these men? Now they're talking about justice. They're talking about mysterious deaths. They're talking about corruption. And you want me to listen to these people? Sam, it's a shame on Liberian native people. They kill our people for corruption. And they let this mulatto woman put her children in power. It was it the cat eye, the children got, Ellen Johnson's children got cat eyes. It grass, brown and all of that. It's not like us. Maybe that the eyes that fool George Weird and getting that kind of eye and big, they got an evil cat eye. They got cat eyes. I remember that. I remember we used to play basketball together at Sport Commission. Her son, one of her son, Jet, we grew up together. He always played basketball. Yeah, Jet. He always played basketball. So I remember one day we were all sitting outside on the court, chilling up. Jet came from any place, came to us, all of us from Crown Hill and down Monrovia boys. We looking at this mulatto cat eye guy come before us, talking all kind of things, talking about his mind, all kind of shit. Yeah, they were all pompous. When he got to the, all of us just look at each other. After he was walking, we look at us, who the other cat eye, crazy mother. I remember all of us, we just look at each other because we're all Monrovia boys, and they mulatto cat eye man come talking all kind of things about his mind, and then Johnson said when he was walking, we just look at each other, we said, who is this cat eye? Who is this cat eye foreigner? And then Johnson said that was she sold our country out. Foreigners sold our country out, Sam. What that woman did to us, time will catch up with her. When Liberian people overcome the spell she put in our country, when she brought the Queen of Sheba, that voodoo woman, the biggest voodoo woman in Africa, she brought her to Liberia and walked her through our city with her shoes, so she could conquer Liberia with juju. Then Ellen Johnson said they put her children in power. And now one native Liberian got juju enough to fight that woman juju. You see, Liberian people got a big mouth and we ain't got no damn juju. The power weak. A weak. Look at Prince Johnson. He said there's tools to Ellen Johnson, Jeremiah Kuhn, Walker, all of them. There's stooges to Ellen. Walker can't do nothing and say he go bake Ellen. You saw that? That's why
He
I didn't
always
put,
there.
but that's why I didn't put his picture on Monday 3. He's a stooge. They gotta go suck up to the Ellen Johnson Sally before they can do anything. That the power, she got the power over them. All the juju people, all the witchcraft power in Liberia, they fall under Ellen Johnson Sally because she brought the Queen of Sheba. And no juju in Liberia stronger than the Queen of Sheba. That's why they cannot overpower Ellen Johnson Sally. No native man in Liberia can overpower Ellen Johnson Sally. They ain't got the juju. They're weak. Ellen brought the Queen of Sheba. All the men in Liberia who got juju are pussies. They're pussies to Ellen Johnson Sally. She brought the Queen of Sheba and conquered all the juju in Liberia. Okay? So you see Boka, Kun, PYG, all of them running up to Annie. They are stooges. She'd pee on them. They have her little pee hands. They're like dogs. She'd send them out. Now Boka, she got Boka now too. Boka got to go there and sing happy birthday to her and carry her flower and all kind of things before he can be president. You see the juju? No juju man in Liberia stronger than Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. She beat every one of those men. They are all pussies. All those juju with the Zozo, the Dazo, all of them, they're submissive to Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. She'll pee on them like cows, goats. Yeah, Sam, you see. That's why I didn't put nobody else there but Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Totman, Talbot, and Ellen Johnson Sirleaf got Liberia. She's the queen of all the zoos and dazos. They are her bitches. You got anything to say, Sam?
Well, besides the transitional process is on course, and I like how we are put it. You should be very open, very fair, in dealing with the process, so that means nothing to hide. So I mean, that's a very good starting for us in the process, and I hope we keep it up until inauguration. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, Sam.
Okay,
Well,
brother.
I hope to see you tomorrow. Take care. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is where we stand with our country. We cannot move forward until we find out why our country failed. Liberia was a thriving country. Tubman took it over for 27 years, killed every leadership in our country for him to be a dictator, changed our constitution over and over. They betrayed us. He satisfied his own ambition to be a great political leader. He is a great political leader. According to the books, he kept himself in power for 27 years. But to us, he was a curse. Tubman, President William Vicararat Shadrach Tubman was a curse to Liberia and the Liberian people. He taught us how to violate our laws. He taught us that corruption and stealing were right. He taught us that we would steal from our government without accountability and responsibility. And we are suffering all these things today because of Tubman. Okay? I don't hate Tubman. I don't hate the family. I got nothing to do with that. I'm telling what is right for my country, where the wrong is. Talbot tried to change it, but he was a part of the forbidden fruit. Talbot had to suffer with Tubman because they had betrayed our country. They had enjoyed the wealth of our country illegally for years because they violated our constitution to be where they were. And we are suffering today because of Tubman and what he did to our country. That is why, before I die, It is my duty and responsibility to enlighten my people and tell you Tubman and Talbot and Ellen Johnson Sirleaf were disgusting leaders of Liberia. They were and are disgusting leaders of Liberia. And for our country to move forward, we must use the example of Tubman, Talbot, and Ellen Johnson Sirleaf to teach our children of corruption, stealing, deception, lies, and treachery of Liberia and against Liberia. What Talbot, Tubman, and Ellen Johnson Sirleaf did to Liberia must go down in history as evils that patriots of our country must strive to teach our children never to follow and be against. The dream of ruling Liberia for life is not what our laws teach us. The dream of ruling Liberia for life against our constitutional teachings is not in the best interest of Liberia and Liberian people. All of you young Liberians today who have entertained or even think about ruling our country for life, God will curse you. That is not what the masses of Liberian people are dreaming about. Our Constitution is not laws made by men and accepted by us. No. Our Constitution is a law that every Liberian agreed upon, every Liberian read, every Liberian voted on. That is the only law in Liberian society that all of us vote on, that all of us have a direct say in, yes, we want this law. For any Liberian to violate that law and want to go against the will of the people and stay in power beyond 2 constitutional elected terms, you are a curse to our society. You are a curse to our institution of constitutional stability. My class is done. As we evaluated these 3 leaders brought shame and disgrace to our country. And we must put right where right belongs. Henceforth, every Liberian who desires to be a patriot, who loves Liberia, must know that our Constitution is the fundamental principle, the guiding light and love of the West African Republic of Liberia. You go against our Constitution, you go against God. Amen. Aluta. Continua. My class is done. Have a good day. I'll see you tomorrow, my people. I will see you tomorrow. Take care and govern yourselves accordingly.